have to say, we are so excited about this tour, and I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about how you feel about this tour coming up here in Australia.
Well, it's just fantastic to be touring, and it's been 8 years since I played here with Maiden, and it's the first time ever playing with British Lions, so it's very exciting all round.
So a lot of us, of course, have loved British Lion over the years, have loved the music. Why did now feel like the right time to bring British Lion to Australia?
Well, touring with Maiden, and I looked at the dates, and I saw there was enough days off to be able to cram some gigs in, so that's what I
did. When a lot of people come to Australia, they like to take a break between shows. How much stress does it put on you personally to be doing 2 tours pretty much at the same time?
Well, lucky enough, there is a couple of days off still anyway. Sort of, I don't know, then when we go to Adelaide, there's like the travel day, which is, so I get that night off, so there's a couple. But in general, I mean, it's just good to be playing. I just love playing, so... and for the opportunities for British Lion to play at the first time is just a fantastic thing for, well, not just for me, but especially for the rest of the lads. Really, it's the first time they've been to Australia, anyway, without playing the gig. So it's just a fantastic opportunity.
Definitely. So going right back to the start of British Lion, tell us a little bit about those early days. How did it all come about, and did you have any reservations about starting up a second band?
No, not at all, because I've known the guys for long, since the 90s anyway. And, I was back in those days, I was helping them out, and I was sort of managing them and writing with them and doing all kinds of things, agent and all these different things. So it was a natural progression, really. The band sort of just, I don't know, just whatever personalities fell apart and stuff back in those days, and I thought the songs are just too good to let go, so songs like Chosen Ones and stuff like that, I just thought that, Eyes of the Young, it's just got to see the light of day, so I thought the only way to do it is just to actually be in the band myself, and so that was it really, and Richie and Graham were definitely up for it, and obviously by that time as well, David Hawkins was involved, so, and we got Simon in on drums, and that was it really, and we've had the same lineup for the last 12 years.
Those core songs in the early days, they are such brilliant songs, and like you said, you couldn't let them go to waste. What kind of things were inspiring you when you first started to work on those tracks, and what do you think it was that made them so special?
I just think it was just the excitement at the time. I mean, that stuff's all the stuff is really driven by Richie. Really, back then was Graham as well. In later stuff, it's been with Richie and David Hawkins mostly, but that stuff's driven by them, and obviously I got involved with it and put my stamp on them and whatever. But it's just inspiring stuff. Just really, really. I mean, Richie. Well, all 3 of them are all such good songwriters, and so whatever ideas they come up with initially are just so inspiring. So it's good stuff. I mean. Same thing with Maiden, all the writers in Maiden are all really, good writers, so I'm very lucky to be surrounded by people like that. So yeah, it's just, and it just takes you off in different directions, and it's strong stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things I was reading about was, like you said, you all knew each other, so when you headed into the studio, you pretty much already had that relationship there, but for you personally, what was that like when you first stepped into the studio with these guys? Because it must have been something very, very special.
Yeah, well, the first album was kind of a bits and pieces, really. The way it was done, the way it worked out. Was the second album, The Burning, was a lot more how I'd like to record. Just go in, and we played the songs live quite a lot by then, and we was able to just go in and record it live. So. The first album, I feel, is not really very representative of sort of where we're at now, really. I suppose if people see us live, the songs are a fair bit different, I think, live than they were off the first album. But that's not to say they weren't good versions. It's just that they've evolved into what we are now.
Yep, yep. Tell us a little bit about that evolution. Where do you think that's come from? Has it just been because you guys have got tighter as a band and played more together, or how do you think that's come about?
Yeah, definitely. It's just through playing. It's just through just playing with the same lineup for a long time, and it's just everything evolves around that. And it's just I just think it's just got better and better as we've gone along. We just you listen back to any live versions or whatever, and also there's quite a few fans who've seen us from the beginning and followed us about and stuff, and they all say the same thing, that the band's just getting better and better all the time. I suppose the longer you play together, the better it is. Well, that's how it should be.
Yeah. Did you feel any pressure when you were heading into the Burning? Because the first album had done so well. Was there any pressure that you felt at all heading in to work on the second album?
Not at all, because we've been playing the songs live anyway before that.
Yeah.
And the songs have been going down well live. So there was actually not much pressure at all, really, because we were just going in and recording them as pretty much live as we've been playing them on the shows. So I think there was probably less pressure than there was on the first one.
Yeah. So one of the things I've noticed, and I love this, not only about British Lion but also Maiden as well, is that you've got multi-generational fans now. People my age, we grew up listening to Maiden through our dads, and now our kids are also fans as well. Do you find that with both British Lion and also Maiden these days, that you do have multi-generational fans at shows, and what does that mean to you?
Well, Maiden's been around obviously a hell of a lot longer than British Lion, so we've picked up multi-generations. British Lion even though we've been together 12 years, it's nowhere near as long as Maiden has, so it's not quite the same. But yeah, we are picking up new fans. That's what's exciting. It's all breaking new ground. Like coming to Australia for the first time with British Lion. I mean, obviously I've been here many times with Maiden, but the rest of the guys, it's the first time they've ever been here. So let alone played any shows here. So it's a big thing for them, and it's for me too. But I don't know. I just like to see it through their eyes of coming into a country for the first time. It's really nice to see.
Do you get nervous when you're playing in a country for the first time like that? Like, I was talking to someone the other day, and they said that they always find when they go and play in a new country that it's almost like meeting your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents for the first time. You want to make that great impression. Do you find that?
I wouldn't describe it as that much pressure. But no, I mean it's just exciting. It's just you never really know what to expect when you're going. I mean, especially with a band like British Lion, where we've only had a couple of albums out, and you don't even know what to expect with how many people are going to show up. Even that's the thing. So you're putting your toes in the water to just test the water really and see how it goes and build it up from there. But so there's that excitement and there's that sort of element of edginess of whether something's going to do well or not or whatever. I mean, however many people turn up, we always give 110%. Like I always did with Maiden in the early days too. But there's always that element of the unknown, and it does give it a bit of an edge, I think.
So both albums have got such brilliant and iconic songs on them. How do you go about putting together a set list for this tour?
It is tough, but we're doing mostly the set that we did we did a UK tour in January, and we're doing most of those songs. We've got a couple of new songs, and also there's probably one other song that we didn't do in that set that we're going to put back in again. So, but yeah, I mean it's tough. I suppose the more songs you have, the more difficult it is. But we're playing most songs off the new album, quite a few songs off the first album. So our set length is, I don't know, about an hour and a half, so it's about maybe 25 minutes shorter than Maiden, but it's hour and a half is still quite a lengthy set, really. I mean, a lot of bands seem to only play an hour 15, something like that, so it's just, I mean, you just choose the songs that you feel more comfortable with, I suppose, and what you think are going to go down the best.
Yeah. You've always had such a great relationship with Australia, whether it be with Maiden or whether it be with British Lion. I was wondering, Can you tell us a little bit about what you like about coming to Australia? What do you like about and playing here, and how do you find the music fans here?
Well, I've always loved the Aussie sense of humour. I think it's very similar to the part of London that I come from.
Yep.
The sense of humour, so I've always loved that. I just think that the attitude, I like the positive attitude of the people, and I just love the place. I just really enjoy it being down here, so it's always look forward to it. And the audiences are good too, so it's all round. Yeah.
What do you like doing on your days off? Do you like to get out and explore the cities while you're here? Do you like to go out and what kind of things do you like to do on those days off?
Well, I probably won't have many days off now. I'm doing pretty fine, but I mean, I might play a bit of football, or I might go out and do a bit of sightseeing or whatever, and whatever I can really. But it depends. I suppose a lot of it depends on the weather.
Yeah,
it's pretty rubbish weather in Perth at the moment, so.
Yeah, well, you when you head to Melbourne, you'll probably find that it's starting to warm up a little bit. We just seem to have broken winter this week and started to get into a few 20-degree days, so you might have some nice weather by the time you get here.
Well, I've got family in Melbourne as well, so that'll be nice to see them. I haven't seen them for a while, so that'll be good.
Definitely. Steve, I noticed you said before that you've got a couple of new tracks that you've been playing as well. Does that mean that you guys have been working on new material over the last few months? Yeah, we've got a couple of new songs in the set, so we like to put them in the set because they just take on a different sort of feel when you play them live quite a few times, and they just get better. So that's what we're going to continue to do from now on, just gradually start working in new songs, playing them live, and then we'll record them as we go. Now, there's also a very, very familiar name, of course, on the list for the night as well. Tony Moore's Awake. Of course, Tony was the keyboardist back with Maiden back in the early days. What's it like bringing Tony over here for those shows as well?
Well, it's great. I love it because I really love what he's doing. I love his songwriting, and the whole album that he's done is great, and I love every single song that he's playing live. So it's a unique show. I don't think there's anybody doing anything like that out there. So people need to get there early and get in and see it. It's very, very good. He's playing the guitar and piano and singing and whatever, and he's got the backdrops with all these different effects and stuff on it, and it's really very, very interesting.
Well, mate, I know we are running out of time very, very quickly, so to finish off, what would you like to say to people out there who have already bought tickets to these shows, and also to the people who are thinking about buying tickets to these shows?
Well, I think the people that are thinking about it is, go ahead and get some tickets and come down and check it out, and you won't be disappointed. And I think the people who've already got tickets, they're going to, and they're probably the people that maybe know the stuff. So, I think it's going to be good all round. I'm really, for a first time for a band to come in as well, it's always extra excitement. It's going to be really good.